cooking show, and like they tell you these small instructions, and then you have to go on your own and like bake this cake or whatnot. It felt the same way. So yeah, like also just like managing stress, on being on your own, living independently. Obviously, those are big skills as well you learn at uni. Well, like way more international people for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's like a very different environment for sure. History at school and chemistry at uni, it's completely different. Like there's so much more. At university, people are more open to like new friendships. I don't know, that's my experience of it at least. So first, I'm Alima. I studied chemistry at the University of Edinburgh. So first year, as Einar said. And yeah, I never studied abroad before. I studied in Astana. So for me, it's quite a big transition. The language barrier or the transition wasn't too big for me. So that was good, I guess. But it was weird to me, just like the cultural shock of just like hearing people speak English everywhere. Because I'm like not used to it. And like seeing people who are not Kazakh, or barely seeing Kazakh people at all. Because Edinburgh, I feel like less than London. Maybe I feel like Washington as well, like it'll have like more Kazakh people, I think. Just talking about Einar. Yeah, so in that sense, like it is like culturally a different experience. But I've enjoyed my course so far, chemistry. It's something I like studying, so I enjoyed myself. I'm already rambling, but I studied math and chemistry and English literature, like both semesters, so there are 2 semesters. I studied all 3 of those every term, and I've enjoyed myself. I was really happy I could find some good friends, and that I could take an elective as well. The English literature was an elective, because I feel like I'm not so much of like a pure STEM person. I'm very like multiple things, like lots of different stuff. Didn't know what I wanted to study for a good time. Second semester, I started to do curling. So not a lot of people might have known about the sport. I don't know if I told Einar before either. So it's like a sport, some people might have heard of it. It's like where you sweep stones and then someone like telling you what to do and like screaming. There are like compilations on YouTube of people just screaming, and it's like, why are they screaming? Like it's not that intense. But I'm just like an Olympics, every 4 years I watch all the sports and everything kind of person, and I've known about curling for a while, and I knew it's a Scottish sport. So when I came to Edinburgh, I was like, I have to do curling. It was like a funny experience because I went to a competition for curling. Just for fun. And I ended up winning. As part of the team. It was 3 or 4 universities who sent like a lot of the best teams. Anyway, so basically curling, it's like in teams of 4, and I was with 3 other good people, that's why, like, it's not like I'm crazy, like, those TV shows where they just start a sport and then like immediately really good at it. Not really, but I got lucky and I enjoyed myself as well. I'm just someone who's like quite clumsy, and I'm prone to getting injured. So that's like something people know about me. So once I got injured in Edinburgh, and after that I got like a bit scared of doing it. So I do bouldering, not rope climbing.
No, and you even taught me some ballet movements. Do you still like into ballet? You still practice this?
So I like ballet a lot, but we moved my family to a different place, and like there's no close places for me to do it, so I stopped doing it. I do a different type of dance here right now, so it's on high heels, which is quite funny. Thing is, I say it in quotes, I guess, because I don't have any high heels to suit the dance yet, so I need to I either buy them or keep performing in socks, which probably shouldn't go to a high heels dance class if I'm not actually wearing high heels, but that's what it's currently been. The person that like does everything a little bit and like think that much. It just had like a long time between every exam, and I was super stressed, and I started to paint and draw again, which I haven't done since me and Einar did this challenge a while ago when we like painted and drew stuff, which which was like what 3 or 4 or 5 months before that. So
What difference do you see between the school that you were before, like Haileybury, Astana, and university in Scotland, University of Edinburgh?
yeah, well, first of all, like way more international people for sure. Yeah, I think it's like a very different environment for sure. Because like at Haileybury, we like had tiny classes of like what, like the smallest class I had was French. French is second language. Which why did I take it? I don't know. So French, we had 3 people. And here, like, you'll never get a class of 3 people.
Yeah.
To be fair, I feel like US colleges for like Einer, like they're even bigger. For us, it's not like Edinburgh's not that huge comparison. Like lectures might have like 200 people or something. I don't know.
The thing is that you still have time for all of your hobbies and the thing that you enjoy doing. So I would like to ask you on how do you plan your day?
Yeah, so I mostly, if it's like a really busy day, I will plan it the day before, and I'll like write like every hour, every like basically every minute of it I'll plan, which just seems quite intense, but it works for me. Otherwise, I kind of some days I would like plan in the morning, and that's mostly what I do. Yeah, but like if it's like sometimes I just get into a habit of like, oh, I have this lecture and this, I don't plan specifically. But if there's like a lot in my head that I need to do that day, then I'll definitely plan it in the morning. So that's what I usually do. Yeah, but also like with these hobbies, I don't do them every day. Like I try to do them every once in a while. That's why like it sounds like a lot, but also like I don't do them as often as I want to. So definitely uni work and like balancing hobbies is hard. Like I haven't been able to do it as much as well either. So
So mostly do you plan like college classes?
yeah, so like when I'll do my courseworks, like pieces of work. So if I'm like working on an essay for English Lit, which I don't think I'll be doing anymore because I don't think I'm taking English Lit next year. But anyway, so yeah, if I'm planning an essay or like a long piece of work, then I do that. Or every week I have a lab report to submit, and I'll also try to space it out because I don't like working on something just one day or like one night as some people do it. I don't know. So I prefer planning it in like different chunks, and I try to do them different points.
Yeah, me too, because our lab reports are pretty extensive and they're like pretty big. So you have to at least do them maybe 2 or 3 times a week before the actual day so that you don't stress that much.
Is it like biology or what reports are you doing right now?
Yeah, currently I'm doing bio lab reports. I don't have my chemistry classes yet.
Yeah.
I'll have them next semester, so it's gonna be fall. And the hardest class that you have or you had?
Well, it's funny you asked that because like I feel like I just took 3 classes every semester, and all of them were 20 credits, but like, and all of them were hard, like in their own ways. So chemistry had like the most workload in the sense that we had like labs, tutorials, like 4 lectures a week, so quite intense that way. With math, it's just plain hard. Like I can't always get everything immediately, and also the problems they would set for us every week, they would expect us to like collaborate with other people. And before I found like close friends in math and chemistry, like I didn't know how to like collaborate with people. So like I didn't end up doing too well in those, but it's fine. And English literature is just so different. Like even though the coursework is less, so I didn't have to do as much every week. It was still difficult in the sense I had to like transport my mind into this mode of like doing English literature, and like also be together with like people who like take English literature and like tutorials, like who like that's what they do. And for me, it's like I'm a chem and math girl. I'm like, what am I doing here? Yeah. So it was quite hard in their own ways, but I'll give an answer. So I think for me, math would have to be the most difficult because it's just a difficult subject for me. Like it wasn't ever like super easy for me. So
Mhm.
yeah, like based on just the pure difficulty, I would say the math classes we took.
Oh, that's intriguing because I didn't have my maths yet. Also,
Well,
I'm gonna
sure
have
you're
it next
fine.
semester. So you say like the coursework and like academically, university and that first year in the university was harder than high school for you.
Yeah. So I mean, I did IB, so I feel like it did prepare me better for uni than like A levels or like not taking like a diploma program at all would. But like it's still like it's people at school would tell us like, oh, IB is the hardest thing you'll take. After that, it's easy. I feel like that's a bit of an overstatement. It's not. It's not easier. It's at the same level or a little harder. But like it wasn't like a huge jump, which some people have described to me. So yeah, in that sense, I think because in IB you just balance so much, especially in the last year of school. Yeah. So like there was like a bunch of coursework for every class. You have to do coursework for IB. So it was a lot in the last year of school when a lot of people, including me, were like struggling with that. So that experience really helped me with uni, I think, and being able to try to balance a lot of super curriculars and like extracurricular stuff like that.
Yeah, so it really prepared you for the university.
Yeah,
and
it was difficult then. It's still like it's not the best experience looking back at it. I'm like, that was a tough time, but it did help.
Yeah, that's good. But do you have something that you improved at the university, like the skills that you boosted?
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, like just my writing skills have improved. Like if I feel like if I look at my old essays, I'll be like, who is this girl? Why is she writing like this? And obviously like just the content wise, chemistry at school and chemistry at uni, it's completely different. Like there's so much more. It's like if anyone did GCSE who's going to watch this video, which they might be, it's like in GCSE chemistry, they teach you this one thing, like, and then in IB, they just completely shatter everything that they said previously, like communication and like social skills. Because like there's so many people at uni and like you kind of meet someone or see someone new every day, probably like 10, 15, 20 new people every day actually. So you feel, and like if you start a conversation with them, like you're constantly kind of improving your social skills that way. So that one for sure. And also this one is kind of like niche, but for me, like lab skills, we definitely did not do as many labs at school. And right now we did like 1 a week, 2 a week even once, I think. Yeah, and it's like it's very it teaches you to like think out of your comfort zone, like, and to think on your own, because you have these like short instructions and you have to fulfill them. It kind of like, I'm again rambling, but it's like a cooking show, and like they tell you these small instructions and then you have to go on your own and like bake this cake or whatnot. It felt the same way. So yeah, like also just like managing stress, on being on your own, living independently, obviously. Those are big skills as well you learn at uni. Write down stuff if I'm feeling really sad or like feeling worried. Lots of my journal entries just start with like, I'm so overwhelmed. I have so much to do. Or I'm so stressed. All of them, like I've been looking through them and all of them start like that because like I make diary entries when I feel stressed or tired. So yeah, I find it a good way to like cope with my feelings, because though I love my friends, like I don't want to constantly just like I guess burden them if like it's not necessary. Like if I can just go through it myself, like sometimes like there's no reason why I feel sad. I don't know why I feel sad, so I just journal if I'm feeling that way, and like it does help for me. The hardest thing is to get myself to journal or to do something, like to go outside, because like when you're in a bad mood, like I understand how difficult it is to do anything. I find it really difficult to start things because we want it to be perfect, or at least I feel the same way. Yeah, but as you say, I try to actually talk to my friends a lot, like go like, because in the first year of uni, like we had catered halls, so like we ate dinner together, me and my friends. And it was really nice. Like it lifted my mood a lot. Like if I was feeling tired or stressed, like I would always like go to dinner with my
Do you
friends.
consider yourself a consistent or a committed person?
I think so. I think I'm someone who consistently wants to be better or like get better. So, and I think like journaling comes to it, and like just being like a reflective person in general. I'm someone like, even if I have lows, I kind of tend to still like come back later and try to be better. I'm definitely not like entirely consistent. I feel like there's surely people who are more than me, but like I'm not too bad at that. I think I'm someone who can commit and who does commit.
What was the most interesting lab that you had?
Ooh, there was one really cool one. It actually already like immediately jumped at me. So there was one where like you couldn't see the dyes in like, so like I don't remember what we were exactly doing. We're like filtering and like crystallizing or whatever. And at the end we had like these dyes. And then like it's like, I guess it was UV or infrared, like it's not visible like in like regular sunlight. But then like when we would use this weird big machine, then we could see like different colorings on it. So it's like, it was super cool because like there's something you can't see with your own eyes, and then you look through something else, and then wow, there's some coloration there, and that was really cool. It made me feel like a CSI or like some detective, some forensic scientist. It was a fun experiment.
Do you have a favorite teacher?
Like a professor? Yeah. I don't know if they'll watch this, but Mary Haddo, professor or Dr. Mary Haddo, she was really nice. Like she said that she used to be a teacher at school, and you can tell because like the way she explained things was like way more kind of broken down and like and easier for me to understand, and I really appreciated that. And also for CHEM, we had like in our tutorials or like workshops, like where we would like go through problem sets. All of the professors would come, which is super nice. Like the actual professors who delivered the content would be the ones like helping you with it, which is like amazing. Yeah, and out of all of the professors, I thought she was the one who like explained it the clearest to me. So I was really thankful for that.
Yeah, so she is a chemistry professor?
Yeah.
Got it. So you mentioned like the improvement, like social skills improvement. Do you think that you have more friends at the university or at school?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, at school, if I'm honest, like I didn't have that many friends. Thankfully I had a couple, and like I don't know if they'll watch this video, but if they do, like you know who you are. Thank you. But at uni it was way easier for me. I don't know, because I think it's just our school, it was tiny. We had like 25 people in our year, so like every class, so we had 2 classes and like 25 people overall, which is not a lot. But at uni it's like it's 300 or 400 chemistry students, which even like that's not even that much compared to other departments like economists, engineer. Yeah, there's like thousands, but for chem I've seen the faces of most first year chemistry students, and I actually know a lot of people's names, like maybe 100, maybe at least 80 or something. And yeah, and like a good 10 are my solid friends that like I ask for help and stuff. And I also have friends like in my dorm, I guess, and also from curling. So all of those little communities. And yeah, I found that like at university, people are more open to like new friendships. I don't know. That's my experience of it, at least. Like I felt like people were more like, because there weren't like in the beginning of the year, there weren't any formed friendships yet, or very little of them. So like it was way easier to communicate.
Yeah. So do you think that you are different from who you were at the school?
You have known me at school, so maybe you remember. I can't remember. I think it might be the same.
So yeah, what is that you have that you wanted to try but you didn't have time for?
Good question. There's this engineering for change, like student lab opportunity, which sounds really cool. It's like you can help with like finding, like I think it's like making bioplastics and like other sustainable materials. And I think as a chemist, like you're still like open to coming into it, of course, especially because like chemistry research is very similar as well. So it's not like didn't have time for it. I just I haven't found out about it until like end of semester 2. So I'd like to do it second year for sure. Other than that, I'd like to do more dance classes if I can, because I feel like I don't do enough sport on a daily. Like curling, it's fun in school, but to me, like at least in the way that we have our trainings, it's like it's not that energy taxing for me. Like it could be like I can take another sport, I think, if I have the time. I think I'd like to be a researcher, so like PhD maybe. Yeah, but I'm not sure about med school. That's one for sure. But I have considered it, and I might consider it. But also, like a lot of chemists go into patent law, so it's like law where you examine like people's inventions, like whether they're like a new invention, like whether it's patent worthy or whether it's not. And that also sounds really cool to me. So I might do that. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and also you can be a PharmD, right? Like
of course,
pharmacist for developing drugs and work at Pfizer.
Yeah, that sounds really, really cool to me as well. Like, you know, it's a way of helping people.
Yeah, and where do you see yourself in 5 years and then in 10 years?
Well, in 5 years, I will just be done with uni, I think. So I might be doing like a year of work, and like maybe multiple years of work in terms of like research, probably if I can, like with R&D somewhere. I'll probably try and get into like research and development positions somewhere. Hopefully pharmaceutical, that sounds interesting to me. Or like I do also want to do like environmental science consulting. So it's like thinking about sustainability and like how like it's like companies that like environmental engineering. So like companies come to these consulting places and they ask how to make their work more sustainable, more environmentally friendly. And that all sounds really cool to me. So I might consider doing that. And in 10 years, hopefully, I'm not sure what job I'll exactly do. I might be a patent lawyer, I might be a researcher, I might be studying for medicine, like whatever year of studying. It will still be probably quite a bit, I don't know. Yeah, so there's lots of paths, but hopefully in 10 years, I just enjoy what I'm doing. I feel quite settled on this journey. Although probably I won't be like completely like 100%, oh yeah, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. But I do want to have the sense of fulfillment and satisfaction with what I'm doing. So kind of a vague answer, but that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that's fair because the question itself is like pretty broad. 10 years is
sure. 10 years is
a
pretty
big time period. Yeah, it's a lot.
Will be.
Yeah. And
I mean, I'll be 29. Yeah. That's really, that's
Only 29.
So only 29, but like, you know, it's a massive age difference from 19. Like 39 and 49, not that huge of a difference to me, at least it seems. 19 and 29,
Yeah. So you mentioned R&D. What is this?
Yeah, I think it's like in like industry. So like companies that like have some department or like a branch of it that's just like trying to develop new substances. Like if it's like a pharmaceutical company, they have an R&D department to develop new medicine, not to like improve the current one, I guess. I mean, it might be to improve the current one, but it's like specifically researchers and like scientists in companies, so like in industry. So people like that are like in science, I mean, this might be, if someone's watching it and knows better than me, sure, leave a comment. I don't know if this video, I don't know. But like R&D, it's like the industry part research, and like you can go to academia and like do research in like universities. So it's like two different paths. Yeah, from my understanding.
What do you like about yourself And what do you like most about your conversation partner?
I mean, I think I like that I kind of bubbly, like people say I'm like friendly and stuff, and like make people feel comfortable. And I think that's a good thing to have. That's kind of what like people usually tell me that the first impression I leave is. And I think it's not a bad first impression. Like I'd rather people think I'm like friendly than not. Yeah, so I like that I can make friends easily and kind of give a lot of effort to other people. I think not everyone can do that, like be really caring towards others. I mean, and I think I can do that, so I'm grateful for that in myself. About you, Einar, I really respect your work ethic and how you kind of go after your opportunities. Like you found yourself like a research position this year. That's amazing. Like first year, like only done one semester and already found a research thing to do. That's super cool. I really respect that. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. But yeah, so I definitely admire that for sure. And how, I mean, people might not know. I don't know if this is like, I doubt it's confidential, but like somewhere, right? Like you went to this TV company in Kazakhstan, right? And then you like told them, hey, can I be your producer or like cinematographer, right? And they were like, sure. And that's like so cool and bold. Like I respect that a lot. So definitely.
Thank you.
You might not know how cool it is like to like just be able to like approach people randomly and like not be scared. That's like a really good skill, I think, for life, for sure.
Where it's gonna lead. So it's better just to start something that you like.
For sure.
And then it's gonna lead you to something interesting.
Yeah.
So for me, do you ever find yourself like you start something and then immediately you get discouraged because you think that you should be perfect from the first time and you should do everything perfectly?
Yeah, I mean, like I am working on this coding project right now, but I'm getting discouraged about it exactly the same way you talk about. Because like I think coding's hard. Like, and it's easy to get discouraged because like there's so many parts to a project. Like if you're trying to do something, yeah. So then, if there's something not working and you're already feeling quite like, oh, maybe I'm like too like thinking I'm too ahead. Like when I'm not actually like I can't do this. You get all these like doubts, I guess, but you just have to pull through them if you can. And I asked my friend to like ask me every couple of days if I did work on this project because I really wanted to work on this project, but I'm procrastinating because I'm like feeling scared of working on it or like feel as though I'm not good enough, which I shouldn't. And I'll just tell you about this thing. So I went to this hackathon in semester 2. That's kind of where doubts came in because like it was like for beginners, and like me and like these 2 people I came with, we were working on this project, and I think everyone there thought they were beginners, but they were more advanced than us, and like everyone was able to complete this and like so well, but we're like struggling so bad. Yeah, and I was like, oh damn, I'm like not even good for a beginner. But like you have to not think about that. It's like if you're enjoying it, just like keep doing it. And I do enjoy coding. It's just like when I'm not thinking about all of these things like comparison. I studied this book called SPQR. It's like Senat Populus que Romanus. I don't know how to tell it. It's by Mary Beard. Who's a historian. Basically, it's a book about Roman history. Like history of Rome, why was Rome so successful unlike other places. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting topic. Also, my history teacher at school, he went to Cambridge. He's like a super cool dude. And Mary Beard was like a fellow at his college. So like he met her personally, and I'm reading a book by her. So it's like kind of cool. So, yeah, I like to read books about the most random things ever. Another book I'm reading is about venture capitalism.
The Power Law. So what is this book about?
Yeah, so it's just like a brief history of venture capitalism, and every chapter is like it goes chronologically mostly. So like the first one is like about the beginning of venture capitalism, like how the author thinks it started, and then it goes like with further examples of like venture capitalism that all like show some point about it and like the power law. So the power law is like that. It's kind of like related to the thing where it's like 80% of consequences come from 20% of decisions, or like 20% of choices. It's related to that basically. So it's like 80% of companies like don't succeed, 22, you know, like things like that.
Or in the like everyday life, I heard about this law, and that I couldn't agree that much, but I just heard the opinion that in your day, 80% it doesn't matter, like all the things that you do, and only 20% matters. Like you have only 20% of important tasks that you can accomplish in a day.
Yeah.
And the rest 80%.
Yeah, I don't know if it like applies so much in daily life, but I think it definitely applies in like businesses. Like, for instance, it basically talks about how like if a business is already successful, it is more likely to keep succeeding because like people are gonna keep coming to it and it's gonna get higher and higher. And like if a person is already a millionaire, it's like they're gonna get more opportunities, more connections because they're already a millionaire. So they're gonna keep getting more and more and richer. So that's why there's like this disparity between like 80% goes there and 20% is like everywhere else. So it's like the way that like opportunities are not, it's not like a normal distribution where it's like most common is where one place, and then it's like more so like it's like a clear disparity. So one place has way more than other places.
Are you into politics? Are you interested in politics, especially in relationships between Scotland, England, and UK in general?
Well, like because I live in Scotland most of my time, like I hear about it a lot and like I am aware of it. So I don't like try to not hear about it, but at the same time, it's not something I seek out a lot. Like politics is kind of the one area I'm like not so familiar with or don't know so much about. Not know so much about. I know that sounds arrogant. No, like I know it's one that where I like have the least knowledge about, I think. So definitely not something I seek out every day, like the venture capitalism book. But I'm interested in it because I know so little about it. So that's why I picked it up today or this couple of weeks.
So you what did you learn about Scotland in your first year here? What did you like about it? What did you dislike about it?
I don't know if there's anything I particularly disliked about Scotland. I really like that the people mostly are really nice and like hospitable. So that was really nice. And I made quite a few Scottish friends as well. It's nice. I think because I do curling. And curling is a very Scottish sport. So I keep meeting like very Scottish people.
Yeah, what are Scottish people like? Can you like, is it possible to give some general characteristics? General characteristics, even though I know like every person
one
is
thing is the
individual,
accent. It's kind of like there is a Scottish accent, I guess. Like it's definitely just split into different regions, like Glaswegian and Edinburgh. Like Glaswegian is way more stronger. And people are like like compared to English, like they're more like hospital kind of like outgoing, I think. Because I think there is a stereotype in like England that like people are like more kind of closed off, like maybe like 2 or 3 days in London. That's my only impression of England. But from there, I did also think that people were actually, I feel like I have not affirmed to the stereotypes like of like English or like more like closed off and Scottish are not. Because I remember when I came to uni for the first time, I came through London. And in London, I was carrying 2 huge suitcases and like 1 small one as well. Don't ask, it was a pain. So I was carrying 3 suitcases in 2 hands. And people kept helping me in London, like in the airport. People were really nice and they were like, let me help you. Like, I have nothing bad to say about English people as well. I think they're all quite polite. Scottish and English people are so polite. Like, like people hold doors for you everywhere. That's the thing that I remember now. Scottish people holding doors everywhere, like, excuse me, sorry. Like, I've heard of that, but like I haven't experienced that before coming here. And I definitely I was really appreciative of it, and like I kept doing it as well to other people. People ask me for their directions, or like they just tell me, like in Kazakhstan, like in Astana, like people constantly ask me for directions and stuff, and like I'm so scared I'll give them the wrong directions as well, because I'm like they ask me where is this ЖК, like where this like there's this houses, and I'm like I'm sorry, I really don't know. I can search it up if you want, and they're like it's okay, don't just go on. And I'm like okay, thank you. It's so funny.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Even though I lived in Astana, I was born in there, but I don't know like any streets. Or if you ask me something, I definitely will not tell you this.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
Do you like visiting museums? Have you
For
been like to
sure.
any museums in London? I heard of Tate Museum.
I really
Yeah.
like Tate. I personally just like looking at art, and like I do paint myself. So like I like to see other people's thoughts. And like I like to read the little, the little descriptions of artworks. Like I try to first understand the artwork myself and then try to look at that and I'll be like, oh, I didn't think of that, or like, oh, that doesn't match what I thought about it. Yeah, so I've been to Tate Modern. I've been to the Natural History Museum in London. I really like that one as well. Like I think it's really good, especially if you have like kids. I don't know. I don't know what our target demographic here is, but it's a good museum. Where else have I been in London? I've been to the War Memorial Museum as well. I mean, I think people should go. There's lots of like important and interesting exponents there, like, or things to look at. Obviously, like, be aware it's like difficult content. So for sure, like, be prepared for that. But I feel like it's important to like also like not forget about that kind of like war stuff as well, like so that we don't repeat it. So
Yeah.
So definitely I recommend that one in terms of like educational experience. And in Edinburgh, you should definitely go, if anyone's listening, to the National Museum of Edinburgh. So it's actually really close to my university campus. So, and it's like Edinburgh itself is quite small. So like, and it's huge, and there's so many interesting things there, like fashion. There's like a fashion like exhibit. The area where I lived, like next to it was like the Hollywood Park, and it was like really pretty there as well, like just like lots of trees and like kind of beautiful like hills. So like I live next to Arthur Sea, and that's like a dormant volcano. So hopefully it doesn't go active again. It hasn't in a while. So it's kind of scary, I guess, but I think it's been dormant for like 300 years or something. Hopefully not anytime soon that it starts again. Anyway, so we climbed it multiple times with my friends, and it's like Edinburgh is like one of those cities where like there's lots of nature in the city. There's like the Meadows, which is like this giant park just in the middle of the city. And it's like me and my friends would like go there a lot as well. And I think actually on my last day in Edinburgh before I came here, we went to the Meadows. It was a nice.
You live near a volcano?
I do. Near a volcano. Yeah.
And you climbed it.
Yeah.
With your friends.
Yeah. Thing is, like, everyone who like lives in Edinburgh is supposed to climb it.
So what is the place that you like to visit in Scotland or in England or just anywhere else you've been in the UK?
So I've been to St. Andrews, but I've only been there at nighttime, which sounds really bad. Like I went there with my friends, and we went there during winter, and we came at 4 p.m. because our bus took longer than expected, and it was already really dark, and I couldn't see it well. Scotland, and it has like one of the oldest universities in the world. So yeah, and like the university buildings, like they're really impressive. They're so pretty. Yeah, I'd like to go there again, but actually see things well, like when it's not dark. I'd like to go to Loch Ness in Scotland because that's where the tales of Loch Ness, the Nessie, have come from, and I'd like to see them. I mean, I'll probably not see the actual monster unless I'm super lucky or unlucky. I don't know. I'd like to go to Bath. I've heard Bath is really beautiful in the UK. It's like lots of Roman Empire ruins there and stuff, and Roman baths, obviously. That's hence the name. So I'd like to go there. And York, I've heard York is beautiful, and I'd like to go. And I'd like to go to London again, because I've barely seen any of it. And I have family or relatives who live there, so it's like easier to go there than other places. Live with them, so
yeah, same for me. I chose this university because I would still like live with my family.
Okay.
Back to the UK. What is the best thing what is the best thing about living in the UK?
I really like kind of like I think the bus system, I mean, that's a really random thing to say. Like the bus system in Edinburgh is so nice. Like I can go to every part of the city really easily. I can walk everywhere. It's beautiful. I'm sure like when I'll go back in August or September, I'll be like, whoa, like I forgot how beautiful it is. Because me and my friends like would go to other places in Britain and like in the UK and would forget how beautiful Edinburgh is and be like, wow, like we live in such a pretty place. And also, I remember this specifically about living in the UK. Something really good is that it's so close to the rest of Europe. So you can travel really easily as long as you have a Schengen, which is a condition. Yeah, like if you have a Schengen, it makes it really easy to travel. Like you can find really cheap tickets, like £50, like roundabout. So like $60, like 2 plane tickets, like there and back, which is really nice. Yeah,
very nice.
And then if like you can find like a relatively cheap place to stay if you can, like in Europe. Like so me and my friend went to Rome for the summer, like for like a week, which is for like 5 days, and it wasn't that expensive for us because like the tickets we got them quite a bit in advance, and like the hostel place as well. So yeah, it makes it really easy to travel to other places if you are in Europe or close to Europe, to go back home as well. Like compared to the US, I guess it's closer.
Yeah, definitely. UK is closer. Worst thing about living in the UK.
I've thought of this while I was thinking of the good stuff. So one really bad thing is it gets really dark really early in the winter. So it's honestly a little depressing. So like in Edinburgh particularly, because like this is UK, right? This is London. This is Edinburgh. So Edinburgh is so high up. It's like really near Norway and stuff. Not that close, but at 3:30, even at 3 p.m. it gets dark in the winter. 3 p.m. Like that's just like beginning of the day. So much time I'm in the darkness and I can't do so much easily. Thankfully, like what Thomas Edison and like Alexander Bell Tesla invented light bulbs. I don't know. Like that's really good. I wonder how people.
Yeah, we're very thankful to them.
I'm very thankful because I wonder how people survived there before that. Someone told me this. Like they said, like it's not possible to constantly be in a good mood, because then it's like not a good mood. It's just like an overall mood, like a neutral mood. And I'm like, that kind of makes sense. Like I don't think it's possible to constantly be in a good mood. That's probably not healthy for you either. But in general, like I journal a lot, so I don't sleep well if I'm stressed. I can't sleep well. So yeah, I try my best to fall asleep. I get like better. I find like ways to I found already some ways to get better at it. Like I start drawing if I'm really stressed, or like I like find ASMR videos on YouTube. Like I will listen to them. So yeah, like I think if you're struggling, like you just find like ways that help you, and that helps you to stay more consistent or committed.
To be conscious in general, it helps me a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah. So what maybe some advice can you give on proper nutrition or
Well, I think it's important to, like, first thing to just eat 3 meals a day, or like at least 2. I have so many friends just eat like once a day, and I feel like it's just not healthy at all. And like I think for students especially, like eating lunch, like try to like take a lunch like box with you, like some snacks at least. Like I mean, I'm probably not like during exam season, sometimes like I'll just like eat some like oranges and like a snack bar, like probably not the healthiest things, but I feel like it's better than nothing if like you don't eat lunch. Like I feel like it's better to like try your best to make like good decisions. Like don't punish yourself too badly. Like don't get too harsh on yourself, because I feel like you're more likely to like break down later, like, and like it's kind of like a cycle. I don't know, at least that's like from my like experience of like people I know. You just have to be kind of compassionate with yourself. It's like it's hard to eat well, especially if like I don't know, some habits may have developed or something, I don't know. Yeah, so I personally, like, I don't know if I can give like really good advice. Like maybe if you have like a lot of problems, like it's good to go to like maybe the, how do you say, like nutritionist or something. But in general, like if you can, but like for anyone who's listening, like in UK you can go to GPs and like for free, so like use that if you're in the UK. But in general, just be kind to yourself. Don't be too harsh on your like decisions, and like if you like ate something that you don't think was healthy, it's okay. It will leave your system soon enough.
And resist your sugar, because do you even eat anything like with sugar?
Yeah, I mean, I do eat a bit. Like I'm thankful that like my family, I don't know, I guess they kind of instilled in me like to eat like really good meals and stuff. So I don't eat that much of it. I don't really like it, but yeah, like I know it must be like difficult. So yeah, I mean, try your best, I guess. Like, but at the same time, don't get too crazy about it, like counting everything. I feel like that can be really unhealthy as well.
Success of your sports teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that big in the UK at all. Like the biggest sport like is like rowing. And even then, like people don't talk about it. People don't go and watch like the races and whatnot. Yeah, it's not a big part of the sport at all, especially of the university at all. I know like there's a rivalry in like Cambridge and Oxford, like in terms of rowing. That's like the biggest UK sporting rivalry I know about. Other ones I haven't heard of at all.
Okay, and just to come to a conclusion, I guess, what would be 3 books that you'd recommend to the audience?
Cool. There's this book I was reading. It was called Humankind. Humankind by Rutger Bregman. It's basically like an alternative perspective on like whether human, like, because like most of the time I feel like we think that humans are like bad, or like we make bad decisions, like, you know, in terms of climate change, which is a fair point. But I feel like, so this book, it's like talking about how mostly people are like good in nature, and we have to like be kind of understanding that, yeah, we made mistakes, but we also can like make things better. So it's more like kind of compassionate in that way. Yeah, and I mean, like lots of like bad things have happened, like, you know, like genocide and stuff, but it's this kind of like book that talks about how there might be like extreme examples, and in most cases humans are like good natured, and like it might be that we don't have to like we don't have to like embody all of that onto ourselves and like feel like we're like evil in disguise or something like that. I really recommend it actually to everyone. I really liked it. Other books? I read in terms of like literature, like fiction. There was this one book. It's called Freshwater by Ekweke Emezi. I thought it was really interestingly written, and it's about this woman who has, or this person who has like this multiple like souls or personalities. Like, it's a very ambiguous book, and I think it's like written really interestingly. So anyone who's interested in some like literary fiction that's recent, I recommend it. I liked it. I wrote one of my essays about it. and the third one, I'll recommend this book, SPQR by Mary Beard, the book about Roman history. I really enjoyed it so far. It's super thick, so beware. But I think it's interesting because like Roman Empire is so long ago, and like some of the things that they did are so similar to things that we do now, like in terms of government, like kind of politics and stuff, or like family dynamics, but also some things are so different. Like I guess like part of it is like, you know, like battles and like the amount of like bloodshed and stuff. Yeah, I think it's just an interesting thing to like look back into history and like read quite a bit about it. So I am enjoying reading about it as well right now. So those are the three books.
Yeah. Some examples from the history that we shouldn't repeat.
Exactly. Oh, and fourth book, if I can, Digital Minimalism
Sure.
by Cal Newport. It's about minimizing the time you spend on technology and like social media. It's one big topic I'm really interested in. Interested in like minimizing the amount of time I spent online on social media, and that book really helped me to like solidify the things that like in my intuition are correct, or maybe like someone else also thinks about, and other strategies to like minimize the way we spend the amount of time we spend online.
On average, how long are you on social media?
Okay, I mean the only social media I use right now is Reddit. I spend
Reddit.
30 minutes on it maybe a day. So it's not too bad. Yeah.
I think you made a progress probably. I don't know if it was worse, but 30 minutes is not that big.
Yeah, it's not. That's why, I mean, that's during term time. It might be more now. I think it's like, on my phone it must be like 2 hours or something, which is quite a lot. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm probably like texting. I don't know.
Or you could be reading. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't think I do. But I'm not using Instagram or Twitter or whatnot, so, or TikTok. I never even downloaded TikTok, so
yeah, me neither.
But yeah, I recommend people to look into how they're spending their time on their phone. I feel like a lot of us just like do it because everyone else is doing it, but it's not useful for us. We could be doing something else, like reading maybe.
Yeah, thank you so much for recommending this book. I should really read it, and everyone I think should read it, because it's like something that we were not prepared for, like all these technologies and computers. It just came out of the sudden,
right.
Out of the nowhere.
I agree.
And we like as humans, we were not prepared for this.
I agree. Our bodies are pretty much the same as they were like 3,000 years ago, and yet there's so much like difference in the way we like live and survive in the modern world. Like so much of it is like on technology, hence this Zoom meeting we're currently doing. And I feel like there's not enough like research that has been done, or any long-term research that showcases what the effects of technology on us are. It's really interesting area, and I feel like more studies need to be done on this.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for coming to an interview with me today on the Zoom.